Hi everybody, welcome back to Vlogmas. Today I'm going to be doing a studio day. I ran a sale on my website for Black Friday, so I have a couple things that are made to order that I have to do. I'm going to show you my process and I hope you can enjoy it and just kind of get a feel for what I like to do when I'm creating. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for the rest of Vlogmas and more tutorials about Shibori and dyeing. And thanks so much for watching. So let's get into it. So first I'm going to start by ironing all of these pieces here. I'm working with linen, which is really awesome for dyeing, but it does get wrinkly. So I'm going to make sure it's nice and wrinkle free. And I'm ironing with my wool ironing pad. It's actually for quilters, but I really like it. Now I'm going to set up my sewing machine and get started doing some sewing. I'm sewing first the back pieces to the front. I'm just doing 1/2 inch seam allowance and sewing them together carefully, using pins just to be extra careful because the linen can shift a lot. So just going seam by seam, turning corners. Then I'm going to finish the edges with my serger. I love this serger. It's a brother. I got it on Amazon. Just a basic serger. I resisted getting a serger for so long, but then once I got it, I was so happy that I got it, and it just makes making projects like so fun because they look so professional and pretty. Next, I'm going to iron things before I dye them, so I'm going to just iron them and bind them up for the dye vat. This is an apron that I am tying up, and it's kind of made out of a canvas, which is a really nice thing to dye and easy to fold and iron. It really keeps its shape easily, so I like working with canvas. It's 100% cotton, and I'm just going to give it quite a lot of steam here. Steam is your friend when you're doing dyeing. When I dye, I like to dye as much as possible in the vat because the vat kind of has a shelf life, and it makes sense to save up a bunch of things to dye and do at one time. So if you're doing some projects with dyeing, I'd recommend tying a bunch of things up and then dyeing it all at one time, and it'll help you with the cleanup and keeping everything tidy. That's one thing that's a big priority for me, is trying to keep it tidy, because dyeing is messy. No matter what, you can try to put cardboard down or plastic. The best is to do it outside. It just is messy, so you have to kind of plan it to minimize your mess. Now I'm doing my pillows. I'm going to fold them up. I'm doing my paint sticks. I have a tutorial on this exact pillow. If you want to check it out, I will put a link to this tutorial into the video. Just giving it a lot of steam and going carefully to make sure that they're all even. Now I'm going to tie everything up with the wooden blocks and the paint sticks, and now it's ready to dye. I like to use these kind of heavy-duty dish gloves, and then I just dip it in, check it to see how it looks. I'm always checking in between dips. You can always dip things again if it doesn't get blue enough or dyed enough for you. but you can't undip them, so to me it's better to have more white the first dip and then put it back in. And I'm using pre-reduced indigo, which dyes pretty quickly, and I like pre-reduced indigo because you can keep the colors pretty consistent, and you don't have to like take its temperature or feed the vat to keep it going. Now I'm going to take off some more of the flour. So every time I dip, air bubbles kind of come up and they form what's called a flour, which is the foam on top of the indigo, and you don't want that to get on your fabric because it will prevent the fabric from getting dyed really well. It will kind of be pigment that's sitting on top of the fabric, and you want the dye to get on the fabric. All right, so I squeeze it out, and I'm gonna let them sit. And just do one more. Quickly dip. Both sides. So I'm just gonna make sure I get all the excess dye out and check it to make sure I like the way it's looking inside, and I'm gonna let it sit for at least overnight just to kind of manage the mess. If it's not soaking wet when you open it, it's a lot easier to deal with. So I like to let it sit for a little bit just to kind of crisp up, and it'll be kind of a crunchy texture when you take it apart. And I just make sure to be very careful when I'm taking apart anything with rubber bands and string, because if you cut the fabric, you are so upset and it's just such a waste of all your work. So it's like the last final step. You just want to be very careful. Oh, there it is. That one looks great. Concentric circles, off-centered. I love that one. Taking apart the strings, it takes forever because it's so many strings. Again, I'm being very careful. And I have special scissors that I use for this that are just for dyeing, so they're like not really very nice. They've been used a lot. They've been used and abused. Those are my dyeing scissors. Ooh, there it is. That one turned out so pretty. And I'm going to just look at it, make sure it looks okay. Then I open up the other one. This one was a pair, so I dyed them together so that the dye was the same color on both of them. Sometimes if you do different dippings, the color can vary a little bit, so I wanted them to match since this was a set that someone ordered, and it's important that they look good together. Oh, there's the other one. Beautiful. So I'm just going to put that on the drying rack, and I don't want it to touch the other pieces. I want to keep it separate. So I don't want the blue to get onto the white, which is something that can happen if you're not careful. And last but not least is the apron. And I'm just going to take it apart. Ooh. Looks like flowers. I love this pattern. And I'm going to hang it up on the other side so that it doesn't touch the pillows. Like I said, I'm going to let it sit overnight just to kind of dry. And once it's completely dry, I'll take it to the laundromat. Pretty. So here are the pillows that are done. These are available on my website. And here is the apron. And now it's ready to pack.
Alright, so these orders are packed up to go, and I'm just going to put them in the plastic and print the shipping labels now.